Hi everyone, and welcome again to my kitchen. This is Mage Engage, where my aim is to introduce you, the Magento community, to you, the Magento community. Today I'm joined by Talesh. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm super, thank you. How are you?
Doing well. It's a lovely day in Toronto, so it's a great day.
Fabulous. So firstly, could you introduce yourself to the viewers for me?
My name is Talesh, and I've been around in the Magento community for a long time. Not very vocal, not very bloggy, but I've been around for a long time, and I've been doing a lot of stuff as a individual consultant slash contractor
Mhm.
in Magento, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't written any books or anything fancy, but I really do appreciate the opportunity to speak with you on Mage Engage.
A lot of fun to have you, and we have
Thank
a
you.
really interesting topic for me, and that is all the pictures and posts that I've seen from you going hiking. I'd love to find out some more information about that part of your life, if that's okay.
Yeah, hiking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's
It's
start it off by the beginning. Where did you start doing it?
I started doing hiking about 5 years ago, but I'd say the passion for it was initiated as a child.
Hmm.
I was a voracious reader, and I spent a lot of time studying as a child. And my parents were subscribed to the National Geographic magazine. So every month, I may not read all the articles, but every month, my little brain was filled with beautiful photos from all around the world.
Cool.
And it's been a dream of mine to actually visit these places and see these things and experience the amazing parts of the world people have always written about. And I guess now for me, being a Magento consultant and having the free time
Hmm.
and the ability to do it, it's something that started a couple of years ago.
Okay.
A cycling friend of mine actually got me started because I was complaining about our lovely Canadian winters not being able to go cycling. And, he suggested joining a hiking club because he was going to go out one weekend. And then he said, I'd probably have a good time, with them.
Hmm.
He didn't make it to that hike, but I still went. So had a good time, met a bunch of people, and it's been pretty much downhill, okay, uphill from there. um, so
Okay.
yeah, and since then we've formed little groups that, do mountains or, do a
Cool.
little bit more of the more intense stuff. So,
Nice.
yeah. And
Okay.
eventually I've convinced Sherry Rhodey to come join me on a couple of them. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay. So, for you, do you love the kind of peace and quiet of the nature, or are you all about meeting new people and talking through stuff with people as you go along? And
Well, there's both. There's a social aspect to it because you need to be traveling with people for security. Some people love doing solo. I love having other people around,
Mhm.
mainly for the security part of it. And I'm a very social person.
Okay.
Um, but I do believe that being able to get out of the city. I live in a fairly metropolitan area.
Mhm.
To be able to get out of the city and experience the peace out there and
Yeah.
just soak in the nature is a huge part of the reasons I go hiking and especially mountains because then you have less people who are
Yeah.
willing to trek up on challenge and elevation.
Okay.
And part of it also is this the testosterone part of it where you need to just challenge that mountain. It's like I got to the top, So there's a challenge, there's a serenity, and also there's some of my hiking friends are my best friends in the world.
Cool.
I put my life in their hands, and they put their lives in my hands. So it's a great social bond.
Nice. Nice. Okay. And what is your favorite place to hike?
Currently,
Hmm.
my favorite place to hike would be based solely on convenience. Canada is a very, very flat country, and where I live is
Surprising.
very, very flat.
Hmm.
Luckily, down in New York State, 5 hours from where I live, is the Adirondack Mountains. There's 46 peaks out there. I've gotten 3 of them so far. I've failed at summiting a couple.
Okay.
I actually have one mountain there called Gothics, which is my nemesis. Like I've tried to summit it 3 times and I've failed 3 times.
Wow. Okay.
So hopefully this will be the year of Gothics. I'm not 100% sure, but we do a weekend trip there fairly often, every couple months. 5 hours drive, spend a weekend, get a couple peaks, come back up.
Nice.
Or not get a couple peaks and have a good time and come back up. But yeah, it would be my favorite place to visit and travel to. As for locations where I really did enjoy, I do think Death Valley is one of the best places I've ever hiked. I know the name sounds a little bit morbid, but I do believe once people get over the fact that it's called Death Valley and whatever history it's had, to get out there and enjoy the stunning landscapes that it has to offer. There are hidden places in Death Valley if you're willing to do a little bit of off-roading to get there that have been some of the most serene places I've been in my entire life.
Nice.
So, if you're going down to Vegas, imagine, and you have a few days to do some, traveling, I'd totally suggest Death Valley. Skip the Hoover Dam; it's boring. So.
Okay, cool. Cool. As a hobby, how expensive is it? Do you just get out and go, or do you need lots of gear as well?
The gear does cost, and many times you'd invest upfront on fairly expensive gear because you've got to protect yourself from the elements. The elements being also cold, sun, and rain. It is slightly dangerous, so you need to invest in that. However, once you've made that investment and you've decided, hey, I really enjoy this, and I've spent $300 on a pair of boots that fit me just right. The hobby becomes fairly cheap because you'd go out and you probably only need to pay for gas to get there and a park fee, which is very nominal, and you end up spending an entire weekend, and it's tons and tons of fun.
Nice.
And you get to have that bonding experience with your friends that you probably would not be able to do spending the day in the city. So I'd say yeah, it's kind of like Magento. You've got to invest up front.
Yeah.
You've got to invest that time and energy up front, and then it's so great. It's so beautiful. So that's what hiking mostly is. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a put off for many people, but it adds to the solitude for me. So
okay, cool. Now, as my mug suggests, I am interested in bears. So, do you have any good bear stories?
Yes, bear stories. I did post something about bears on Twitter a couple days ago. So last year, I rounded up my group and we decided to go to the Yukon territories in Canada, which is not a place a lot of people think about going for vacation,
Okay.
And along with every hike you go on, we spend a lot of time researching is to make sure that, we know what elevation we're going to be climbing, what distance we're going to be going, what the conditions are going to be, what to prepare, how to prepare, what to pack. And part of this research turned up the day before that there was spotted a couple grizzlies and cubs before we took our hike onto Sheep Trail. And it was called Sheep Trail, so we were like, okay. But there's stunning views of glaciers, so we decided to go for it anyway. And we were excited to see a grizzly because on the east coast of Canada, we don't have grizzlies. So there was a group of 8 of us. We went out and we were having a great time. It was a lovely trail, beautiful, and lots of laughs, jokes, and we'd see along the trail bear signs, like, they'd be digging, looking for grubs to eat and whatnot. And as slowly we got further away from the road and around the mountains and into the valleys, the laughter started becoming a little bit more nervous and dying off a little bit quicker. So, I love taking photos. As you mentioned, you've seen some of my photos. So I packed a huge, heavy lens, a wildlife lens, and it was heavy. And I was hoping to see a bear on a ridge very far away, and get a lovely shot from my Yukon trip of a grizzly. But the fact that we realized that the bears were so close, kind of left everyone a little bit nervous. And I remember seeing some of the girls just holding on to their bear spray. Bear spray is an aerosol can with pepper spray.
Okay.
So if a bear charges you, you point it at the bear and you spray, and hopefully the wind's blowing in the right direction. Otherwise, you'll get bear spray into your face. So yeah, everyone was just gripping their bear spray cans a little bit tightly. We got to the end of the hike. We didn't see any bears. It was a little bit of a sigh of relief, and we just started booking it back to the vehicle. And we did not get quiet because you had to be a little bit noisy so bears would stay away. And we'd see our boot prints on the way in, and then we'd see bear paw prints over those, and little cub prints also.
Yeah.
I think at that point in time, everyone started getting worried because we had no idea we were this close to the grizzlies. So obviously they've been there after we've been there, and we made headway for the vehicle. Unfortunately, one of our friends, she had a small fall, a little cut on her forehead, and we just piled into the vehicle and left. There was, there was no more excitement about seeing a grizzly because we were all terrified.
Yeah.
And on the drive back to civilization, while I was gunning it all the way because we had to get to a clinic before it closed, my friend spotted a bear on the side of the road. And at that point in time, we forgot completely about getting to the clinic and catching up anyone. We just pulled over, spent, I think, 20 minutes photographing this grizzly up close. It was lovely photos, lovely views.
Yeah.
And he was just there chomping away. No one was getting out of the vehicle. And lovely mountains in the background, beautiful scenery, and all my camera gear was locked in the back, and I have not a single photo of it. So, yeah, it was an experience. It's something I could only talk about, and I could never show a photo of.
Crazy.
So.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty intense. To see it that close and to be in their environment
we were just
as well.
feet away from it, meters.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. Oh, well, that is a really interesting story. And thank you for sharing it with us. And thank you for sharing today, sharing some time and getting to know you a little bit more, which is awesome.
It was a pleasure. I'm glad you invited me, and I'm honored to be part of Major Engage.
Oh, it's fun to have you, and I'm very happy that you agreed. So as a little reward for being so interesting, especially for that bear story, which was awesome for me, feel free to plug whatever you would like to the audience.
I don't have a big project. As I said, I'm usually a little bit low key on these sort of things, and I don't have a big fancy blog. I'd say, shoot me a follow on Twitter. My Twitter handle is _Talesh, Talesh.
Mm-hmm.
And as I understand, this is going to be airing just before Magento Imagine.
Yes.
So I'd say if you see me at Imagine, just come up, say hi. I'd love to learn about what you're doing, what open source stuff you're working on, what projects you're working on, because I love connecting with people in the Magento community and
Nice.
finding out what they're doing. Even when you started Mage Engage, I'm like, that's so cool, and I've literally looked at every single episode.
Nice.
So when you invited me, I'm like, oh my god, wow.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm very interested in what people are doing in the community. So yeah,
Very
connect with me.
nice.
See me at Imagine.
Cool. I imagine you'll be very not hard to find, I'd imagine.
Not hard to find. There's a bald head and there's a beard.
Yeah.
Don't mistake me for Brent Peterson.
Yeah,
but,
nice.
yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you
I will
so
put
much.
information about you and your Twitter stuff in the description, so when people want to hit you up, it's all there.
Sounds good.
And thank you for watching, and join us next week for another Mage Engage. Thanks. Bye.